Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Welcome to because the conversation starts. This is the spot, the place, the location, yes. Where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And we have a beautiful Parisian woman, originally from France, and now she is living in Australia. Right, Annabelle Merriman.
And whatever it is in your city, yeah, whatever it is.
Exactly. So we want to talk about life. You're a life expansion expert.
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing this with our lives. You're talking about mindset. You're talking about rise and shine. You are a survivor of breast cancer. You're an author. You consciously uncoupled after 28 years. You are a the full Monty, as they say. So we want to hear a little bit about that and how you're pouring what you learned, your life experiences, the good, the bad, the indifferent, into others to make their lives better. So welcome to the Edge, Annabelle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, April. I'm so honored to be here and to be able to share a little bit of my story, a little bit of my teachings, a little bit of my spirit, and a little bit of my magic, you know. And also, I think we've...
So tell me about your story.
Yeah, so my story is, I'm a bit of a sacred rebel, which is the title of the first book I was writing, Sacred Rebel, Women Who Dare to Disrupt. And as I grew up in France, I just wanted to, I love freedom. I love big spaces. And then I was a ski instructor, zooming down in the French Alps, and I met lots of people from all over the world, and then I fell in love. So I came to Australia to follow my husband, to be 28 years ago. And then I tried really hard to become this Aussie woman and to try to fit in the box. So it was this new box of wanting to be a little bit Australian, wanting to fit, wanting to be friends with the friends, and, all of that. And really, I kind of lost the connection with my soul. I lost the connection with my heart and the connection with my spirit, because I was trying to fit that box so well. And a lot of things were not making me happy, but I still push hard and try hard until, I found myself in a very difficult places with breast cancer. And breast cancer, there's one thing is, a lot of women who have breast cancer, the commonality is they're givers. They give to others and they don't give to themselves. And actually, at the time, I didn't even know about self-love, about caring, self-care for myself, or any of these things. And I realized, I was just like trying to get attention from my husband. He was busy with his work and trying to fit with that world I was living in.
Now, was he Australian, or was he from France as well?
He's Australian. He's Australian and very Australian. And so we have a lot of differences in that regard, of culture, very different culture. And there are a lot of things that for me were kind of normal things, about intimacy, about being in a couple and all these things. And because I come from France, a lot of things are quite open. We know we love our pleasure of sexuality, pleasure of food, pleasure, and I came to this world of Australia, which is very different.
I know, I've been
and the beautiful people, beautiful nature. The nature is amazing. So being here in nature is amazing.
But if that's really all your thing is, and you're into skyscrapers and beautiful works of art and towers, yes, and all of that, and I get it. And then building friendships, to connect with other women, other cultures because they've been indoctrinated a certain kind of way with those relationships. You come
Yeah.
from a different type of, a different type of vibe. And then, like you
Yes,
said,
of course.
women that have suffered with breast cancer, a lot of them, you find that it's common that they're givers. But I have decided to take it back. I'm going to
Yes.
be 60 in a couple weeks, and I am really reclaiming who I am, unapologetically, respectfully. But you know what, Annabelle, you have to teach people how to treat you.
Yes, people, you don't you can't reverse yourself like that overnight thinking, oh my God. So, the story is I found myself in this box and I was stuck in that box. And then my life expansion is all about getting out of the box, learning slowly. First learning what is that box you've been in that you don't know about, but you're in that box. So you look about, being in that box, and then you find yourself in a bit of a dooming, gloom and doom space, and to regain faith and trust in the universe, and connect to your body, to your mind, to your soul, so you can create something new for yourself. And that's the life expansion. The life expansion is all about really coming out of that space and learning about yourself and learning about your authenticity, learning about your truth. What is your authenticity? What is your truth? Connecting to the soul, what makes you feel good, what gives you pleasure, and allowing yourself to say no to people, allowing yourself to say no to certain situations, to say no to certain jobs and to certain relationships, to really say no to be the good girl, because this is what we are all really, we are all brought up and fully programmed to be good consumers, and to be good consumers, like, so we have to be good consumers of love, so when we little, we don't get love whatsoever. We have to be good girls and good boys so we can be loved. So that's already programmed us, that we think if we, when we go a bit of on our rebel side, we won't be worthy of love, we won't be worthy of attention, we won't be worthy at all, and we can lose our worthiness there. And then, we grow in this culture where we have to be good consumer, and we won't get this unless we buy that, and you won't get the good girl unless you buy the good car, and you don't get the good boy unless you have the right underwear.
But
you know
how do we change our mindset to put ourselves first and everybody else second?
Okay, so the first big step is to want it. First, to realize that we are somewhere that we are not happy, because a lot of people, we've been programmed to compensate, and to really be okay, to be unhappy. And to feel like, oh, so we do things to please others. We people pleasers, a lot of us, we are people pleasers. And so to get out of that, to understand this is what we do. And and everybody's reactivity different, where there's people who are react, and the people who are reactive into being numb and doing nothing and go all very small. And so, and then the nervous system and all that, you can be an anxious one or avoidant one, and your nervous system is always triggered because, oh, what do I need to do to be loved? What do I need to do to be someone? What do I need to
How
do
can I be accepted? How can I
worthy?
merge in? Well, let me ask you a question. While you were going through your cancer, was your ex-spouse with you?
Well, he did, but he was unable to admit that I was unwell. So he just wanted me to be well. You okay? You okay? You okay? But that's fine. And you say, I'm depressed. It's really painful. I've had to do radiotherapy. My breast was burnt, and I felt really like it wasn't the right things to me. It felt very misaligned to how I live my life.
Right.
And
well, I mean, you're from France. I mean, you guys walk around naked, and it's absolutely fine. That's the culture, because the body is, the body is the most beautiful work of art. And you don't look
Absolutely.
at it. I mean, you can be 100 pounds and still have a bikini on, or you could be 200 pounds and a
You're
bikini, because you are loving the true essence. And a lot of times I find that, and yes, I'm stereotyping brains, so go ahead and, get your feelings out now. But men have a hard time adapting to when their children have a
fine.
disability, or they're not well, or their spouse. They just don't know how to process that. And a lot of times it rips the people apart. And I had a very interesting conversation with a woman. I used to sell cosmetics. And she came in and she says, "Can I sit in your chair and will you make me pretty?" I said, "I sure will." And she says, "I'm just now coming from chemotherapy." And I
Mhm.
said, "Well, you're driving yourself?" She goes, "Yeah." She says, "Because I think my husband's with his girlfriend." And,
Mm.
I didn't know what to say. I'm busy putting on lipstick. And
Mm.
so then I said, "You know what? This is an opportunity." She wants to share. She wants to feel
Yeah.
pretty and she wants to have this conversation. Long story short, she said that, she had had a couple different surgeries and that her body was not the way that it was. She didn't have her hair, that the medicine was causing her teeth to bother her. She was depressed and her husband was stepping out on her. And
Mhm.
she knew that her cancer was terminal. She says, "So what do I do?" And I can't believe I told her what to do. Because I usually don't do that. I was just a good listener. And I said, "Well, you know what? He still desires pleasure. He still has a life to live. He's afraid." And she says, "But he's taking, good care of me. There's food there, my medical, whatever." I said, "Well, if you have a conversation with him, maybe you will allow him to have a girlfriend, but you have certain boundaries and parameters." She went home
Mhm.
and had that conversation with him. And she came back a few weeks later. This time he was driving her. He was
Yeah.
going one part of the store, and I just kind of winked at her, and she just gave me the thumbs up. So everybody's relationship is different. We automatically assume that people have to fall in line and in alignment with what we're doing instead of creating what works for them. And if he's
Yeah.
not there to support you, it could be doing more damage to you than it is for him to pretend or fake. Do you have children?
Yes, I have a son. We have a son who's gonna turn 25 this year. And look, it was all about me at the end of the day. You know how my relationship was, and it was all about my connection to my own body. And
Right.
actually, I had all these expectation as a French woman that these things have to come from my husband. And so instead of looking in and thinking, how can I give that to myself?
Right.
Feel
Right.
really good. So then I feel good in a way that my husband wants to be with me as well. He's not there to solve my problem. We solve it together, but I don't need to burden him. But it was the way it was at the time. For me, it was like, oh, all these things are his job, and I kind of sit on the side and was waiting for him to do things that he didn't want to do. So I just went into this very depressed,
Maybe
and
not, and maybe
no.
in all transparency, maybe it's not that he didn't want to do it. Maybe he just didn't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, he didn't know how to do it, and he was very much into fear. He had fear of this and fear of that, and I was a bit of a tiger. So when things didn't happen, I go wow, and he was very scared of that, and so he kept himself being scared of having the wrong outcome, and he was unable to ever really put himself in a place where he'd be looking for to a nice and a good outcome. And
Right.
at the end of the day, I had to leave because I can't be with a man who hasn't faith in himself, in our relationship, and in us, and
Right.
and, and live with fear. So, but then I had to learn to look after myself, and I had to learn to have a relationship with my body, with my breast. And I started a little project called the BooB Revolution 2 years ago, and the BooB Revolution is a project where I want to educate women, young women and older women, about the power of their breast, and about self-care and breast care, and how that can be the bigger picture for prevention to breast cancer. First there is,
Right.
yeah,
A woman's breast is really like her hair. It's your glory. You are so
yes,
attached to them. And I am trying to get an interview with another woman that, they have the breast surgery, they have their breasts removed, but they will not do implants. They want to just be who they are
Mm-hmm.
without, but they want women to establish a sense of self-worth outside of these two things that were developed to feed children and, again, give us sexual stimulation and sexual pleasure. And we feel, as a woman, I know I would, that you are not that anymore once these two, pieces of meat are gone. How do you get in the headset to be able uh, to appreciate and still love yourself after this has happened?
Whatever happens to you, all you can do is be with the present and be with what is. So I still have my breast. I had 2 surgeries, so they cut twice in one breast and got the tumor out, and I still have 2/3 of one breast and the full other breast. So I'm very lucky, but I choose that as well. I know people for prevention, they go and they get it off, just for prevention. They don't even have any problem. But the thing is, whatever happens to you, it's to be able to to bring gratitude, to whatever situation you're in. And gratitude and forgiveness are the alchemist of joy. So wherever you are, you can be sitting in fear, you can be sitting in a dissatisfaction, in disappointment in life, and go, oh, poor me, why me? Or you can find gratitude. And then as you find gratitude in your life, you bring bliss in your life, because when you are in gratitude, you cannot be in fear. When you are in forgiveness, you can't be blaming others. You are in forgiveness fully. So there are those qualities, that are help others embody and understand how to own their own feelings and what's happening to them. So basically you start to have a relationship with yourself,
Right.
and
And you become,
that is the most important part, and to love yourself no matter what, because
and
that's all you have.
but the sexy is here. The sexy is not this. To be able to walk in your light, to walk in your glory, to look at yourself and say, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful. This has happened to me. And, it's not personal because something is going to happen to all of us. What's in the pages of your book? Do you have your book there with you?
No, the book is coming out, actually. So I have one book who came out last year, and then I have another one who's coming out this week. And the book, I can read a little bit, because basically what happened is,
Annabelle, you are an amazing author. Okay?
yes.
You have written. You are not only going to show us the book, but you're also going to read us an excerpt. Introduce us. Tell us a little bit about the book. Is it a part of an anthology? Were there other authors in there?
No, there's other authors. So what I'm going to share with you is the book I wrote in last year, which is Sacred Rebel, Women Who Dare to Disrupt, where I tell my story of Annabelle, becoming Annabelle, as Annabelle is a new name, and it's part of my transformation. And then what happened to me, how did I get after breast cancer and all that, where that going? And then I did another book at the start of this year, which is Navigating the Clickety-Clack, and that's co-author with Michael Beckwith and John DeMartini.
Okay.
So I'm very happy with those as well. So that came out in January, and I wasn't a writer. I didn't know I could write, but I followed my heart and I followed the messages telling me, you need to write. And then all the elements came together for me to meet this woman who was helping creating these books. And so she said, it's multi-author book, so we write on this subject and you have to do only one chapter. So I thought, okay, that's possible. It makes it possible, like I really didn't think I could be a writer. So, and this year, there is this new book, Warriors of Light, Leaders of the Great Awakening.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So give us a reading. Let me hear what's inside the pages of your book.
Yeah, so I will do a reading for that. And yeah, you know, when she came to me and she said, this is what's happening, you know, I'm going to tell you, I've been working with spirit, and spirit has come to my life, and I've been channeling dragon spirit.
Oh, wow.
So channeling my dragon spirit has expanded my capacity as a healer and given me extraordinary powers, which I love to include in my healings, live and online. Whenever I go through a dark night of the soul and find myself in a miserable state, the fastest way out is to channel my dragon, reclaim my power, and cut the energetic cords to the stories keeping me in the shadows. I connect with my spirit guides and my animal spirit. I go through initiations of awakening. It can be painful, but always rewarding. In the last 2 years, when I've made life-changing decisions, I felt a big chill inside. I got goosebumps. My body is talking to me, and I am learning to listen. So after jumping off that cliff, letting go of the old life, I am faced with ups and downs constantly. Going through such intense feelings is taxing, getting lost in the sorrow and the old pain. The work is to know how to move it through breath, dance, cleansing ritual. After the rain, the sunshine always comes back.
Well, and you are a bright, bright star. So let's ask you a couple fun questions. I always like to do this with my guests.
Yes.
If you were a color, what color would you be and why?
Hmm. Like the lagoon in the ocean, you know, this really um, pale green aqua.
Mm-hmm. Why?
And why? To be like water flowing with the flow of life.
Yeah, I'd be
Mhm.
something like probably fuchsia. Because I like it bright and I like it, passionate and feminine. I
Yes,
love all of that.
I like that too.
Yeah, I know. I see you're very
Actually,
colorful.
yeah, but actually, you know, the green is my peaceful place.
Yeah, green is my favorite color. But if I
Yeah.
was a color, I'd be that. What would you tell a 25-year-old Annabelle Merriman?
To trust in life and to trust in yourself and to follow your heart, to connect to your heart and to follow your heart.
That's wonderful. You had three wishes. What would they be?
A prosperous life where there is as much giving as there is receiving.
Mm, okay.
Pleasure in everything I do. Pleasure is a way of life. It's not something that comes now and then. It's a way of life. So being able to have pleasure in all moment in life.
And what would be your third?
A healthy, open, authentic relationship with intimacy, with meaningful conversation.
Right. Because it's all about relationship. I tell people all the time we have two
Yes.
purposes in this life. One is to
Mhm.
learn, the other one is to teach. We
Yes.
can't take our possessions with us when we go to
No.
wherever we go after this. We
No.
can't. We can be thankful for the memories, but tomorrow is not promised. The next breath is not promised. We have to
Mhm.
stay here. That's why they call it the present. And we try to be happy and be thankful. If you
Yes.
were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
A mixer.
A mixer. That's pretty good.
Yes. Can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Can
I'd
do a
be
lot
the
of things.
toaster.
You be the
I like
toaster.
to pop off, That's good. I like to make it right. I like to
There I
make it
go.
hot and crispy, all of those kind of things. What would you tell a person that is down on themselves right now, that they just feel like, there's no hope, that they may have just gotten the diagnosis that they have breast cancer, that it's not a death sentence. You are here to be a witness to the wonders of medicine and self-care. But what would you tell that woman that's in that place right now, or man?
Every morning is a new morning. As long as you wake up and you take your breath, bring gratitude to every breath, bring gratitude to everything that is around you, and live in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Don't start living now that maybe you will lose life later, because we're all going to lose life anyway. But right now we're alive. Let's just be living.
Exactly. And living our best life. How do they get in
Yes.
contact with you and get a copy of your book?
Okay. So on my website, I have a annabellemerriman.com, and they can get a link to subscribe to get the copy of the book. And then this Friday, when the book comes out, they will get an email with the link to go and to Amazon and to buy the book. So the book is coming out on Friday, and before that, we're having a big launch party on the Facebook group with the people from the book, Warrior of Light, Leaders of the Great Awakening, and we're organizing roundtable to speak about this awakening, to speak about ritual, to speak about energy, ascension, to speak about all these things. So you can connect with me on Facebook, and then I have so at Annabelle Merriman, I've got a page, and I've got my personal profile as well. And then in Facebook, I have a group called Woman Soul Circle. And in this group, every Monday morning, I give a free Monday, what I call Monday meditation, which is a Sunday night for all the Americans, but Monday meditation. And I do oracle cards, and I tell you, what's your guidance for this week, and for the group as well. So you get a guidance of what is best for you this week.
Okay,
So
so
this is where you
so
can
how
find
about
me.
that? So
I'm on
since you do
Instagram.
oracle cards, let me see what you come up with. Can you do an oracle card for me now? I
I
am
can do.
I'm turning 60 in a couple days, and
Yes.
so I want to get some insight.
Okay. What does April needs to know now for before turning 60? What's the most important message she's gonna get? Thank you, card, to give us another card. Here it is. Telling me, pick me, pick me, pick me. Okay. Oh, wow. Lapis lazuli, the vision.
Ooh.
Lapis lazuli, the vision. So you need to go higher vision. You can fully redo your vision. I'll read a little bit what it says here. And it's Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is the one who
Oh
gives us
yes.
protection. So Archangel Michael has come to you, and is going to be with you on your 60th birthday, on your new ascension. From now, it's like you ascending, and you can have a bigger vision of where you're going, from where you are now to where you really want to go. How do you want to change the world? Giving me a voice is fantastic. I'm so grateful to be here. You're doing a fantastic
Absolutely.
job.
Thank you.
So I can read a little bit to say, you have many abilities and the capacity to do numerous things with your talent, time, and energy. Your heart yearns for meaningful, focused purpose. Keep going. You have things you want to accomplish. You have more things you want to accomplish.
Absolutely. All right. I
And
get it.
basically, if you go there with faith and trust that you're going to be able to accomplish it. And I know you'll be traveling soon. I'll be traveling soon as well. And these experiences will help us for sure stay
Right.
connected to that vision. And now, you go with a vision, and you can close your eyes, and I can just guide you quickly if you want.
Okay.
Close your eyes, and get you want them to have.
Hmm.
What do you want them to feel when they come and work with you? what is this that you want to create, how you want to expand your possibility, and you want everyone that comes and work with you shine their light to the max. And from that place of high vision, we can slowly come back to the seat and come back to the here and the now. And yes, the power of meditation, the power of closing our eyes and being able to visualize ourselves and others, and is very, very powerful. Very powerful.
That was beautiful. Very relaxing. And that's exactly what we need to do, brains. We need to take the edge off. But not right now. You need to be on the edge with me and Annabelle Merriman. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing your wisdom, sharing the personal, intimate story of your recovery and your relationship, but also focusing and emphasizing on how important it is to love yourself, take care of yourself, find your passion, find your intimacy. Your breasts do not define who you are as a human being or your contribution to the world. Okay? So don't be afraid about that, and to be encouraged, because cancer, the big C word, is not a death sentence.
No.
What we want to work on is prevention. And thank you so much, Marianne. Merriman, but Annabelle, let us know what's going on moving forward, the classes or whatever offering you have, so we can post that so other women can build a strong community in case they're having relationship problems. They will have someone to lean on. We all need someone to lean on.
So I've got 2 programs coming up, and one is Awaken the Wild Woman Within.
Okay.
So, and that's going to be online in October. So you'll be able to enroll for October. And then I have a smaller program called Femme Intuition, which is about connecting to feminine intuition, reclaiming safety within your body, reigniting sensitivity, and rest in surrender and trust. The world is a beautiful place. Find peace within yourself so you can create peace on the outside as well. And
let me ask you a quick question about Australia. Do women have a right to choose, whether they are abortions covered by medical care?
I don't know if it's covered, but I think you're allowed to. I haven't had to look at that at all. But in France, I know in France you're allowed to, and it's covered. But here in Australia, I don't know if it's covered, but I know you're allowed to. I think, yeah, I think you're allowed. I think what I find really terrible is in America, basically the guns have more right than the women. And this is really bad. This is really bad. It's that bad that it can't just be left like that. More. There is more to come. I'm sure there is more to come.
And you're going to pull an oracle card that's going to tell us exactly how to do that. Thank you so much for being here on the edge with us. You are an amazing soul, and you are beautiful. Thank you so much again for being on the edge. Continue to to be here with us, to work with us, and we hold hands with you from a distance. All right?
Thank you so much. Stay on the journey, and if you want to work with me and if you want to connect with me, there's all the link on my website, and just don't hesitate to connect with me on Facebook through Messenger, and I'll be happy to have a chat. I have a free session, so we can meet always, and yes, let's just do that.
Well, you are good and you are great. Thank you so much, brains. Go in, like, love, and share this and other great conversations here on the edge. We give you what you need. We want to feed your mind, your body, and your soul. Thank you, Annabelle.
Thank you.